Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
What's good, everybody? It's your girl, Fran, and welcome back to this Wednesday's episode of Fill Up with Fran. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere in the World Wide Web, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Without any further ado, I'd like to jump into the topic for this week. We're going to discuss 3 reasons to use discernment to protect your vision. Okay, we're going to discuss 3 reasons to protect your vision using discernment. All right, so as with every Fill Up with Fran, I want to define the terminology that I'm using. Okay, and so discernment is the ability to notice objective differences among activities, people, objects, or experiences. Okay, it is about finding relevant information in a common dimension. All right. Another definition says discernment is the quality of being able to grasp and comprehend what is obscure. Okay, so we're going to talk about discernment. All right. Discernment is a powerful tool for visionaries. Because as a visionary, if you have a vision and you're a visionary of something, it is your job to be the steward of that vision, to hold that vision, to shepherd that vision all the way through into completion. Okay, those that hold visions or have visions treat their vision, their dream, the thing that they want, like a baby. Okay, when you think of a baby, you don't think of something that can be independent of your protection. It needs your protection. It needs your shelter. In the same way, you should think about your vision. You should think about your goals. You should think about your dreams in that same way. Okay? And so one of the ways that you could protect your vision, one of the ways that you could protect your dream is to use discernment. All right? Discernment is different from judgment. Okay? I want to make sure that I say that judgment is not the same as discernment. I know sometimes those two things get conflated, but they're not the same thing. All right. Judgment is about power. It's about who has it, who needs it, and what they're gonna do with it. All right. That's what judgment is. Whereas discernment is exactly what I read to you earlier. It's focused on the details and noticing the difference without attaching a meaning to it. All right. So judgment places a value on a person or a thing or an idea as worthy or not worthy. Whereas discernment is not attaching value at all, whether worthy or not worthy or anything. Discernment is simply about noticing the details. All right. And so as a visionary, it's really, really important that we understand how to use our discernment to make the best decision as we move through this journey to make our wildest dreams come true. It is not about judgment. All right. Oftentimes people say, you're being judgmental, when what they really mean is that you're being discerning. All right. Don't let someone make you feel guilty for using your skill of discernment. All right. Discernment is a skill that can be learned and built. All right. And you need that discernment because you make hundreds of thousands of decisions in a week. And without paying attention to the fine details, you begin to slip in your decision making. All right. And so as a visionary, it is imperative that your discernment is at a high level. So let's go for number one. The number one reason why you should use discernment to protect your vision is discernment allows you to see the difference between what is real and what is unreal. Okay. Discernment allows you to tell the difference between what is real and what is unreal. Okay. For those that don't know my fiance yet, make sure you go check out on some gay shit because that'll be a great way for you to get to know her. But Kelly loves labels. Kelly loves to wear the finer things. She enjoys labels. She's a Gucci girl. She's a Fendi friend. She loves that type of thing, and God bless her for it. All right, but Kelly knows how to discern the difference between a real Gucci and a fake Gucci, like no one I've ever seen before in my life. And what it comes down to is the details. It comes down to the details of how this is made. Okay? And so while someone, it looks good enough to pass and they'll be okay with it, someone who is focused on discerning wants to look at the details in such a way where they're able to tell even when the G is a little off. Okay? So discernment allows you to tell the difference between what is real and what is unreal. Okay? And that doesn't just relate to physical, material things, but also relationships. Discernment allows you to tell this action right here at first glance looks great. This sentence that you just spoke to me at first glance sounds amazing, but when I hold it up to the picture of where I'm trying to go, when I compare it to my vision, it does not meet the standard. And so I am not judging this as worthless or as valueless. I'm just saying that for me, in the journey that I'm on, in the vision that I'm trying to create, it does not quite meet the standard. Again, at first glance, it looks like it will be good enough. It looks like it will get the work done. But when I use the skill of discernment and I really look at it, I can tell the difference between what is real and what is unreal. Okay? And as a visionary, that's really, really important. Okay? Discernment focuses on how our cognitive ability to distinguish what is appropriate and inappropriate for us. Let me make that clear again. Okay, because I remember I used to have conversations with people and I would complain like, oh, my weight is just out of control, and oh, I feel so horrible. And I remember this one young lady was like, well, what you think about me if you think you fat? And I thought to myself, girl, I don't think nothing about you. I said I feel. Okay? And so again, there is a difference between discerning and judging. Judging is about the value and the meaning and the worth of that thing or that person or that place or that idea. Whereas discernment is, I am looking to see if what I need in order to make this work for what I need is present. And if it is, beautiful. And if it's not, that's okay. And you're still great and you're still wonderful, but this is where we have to part ways. All right. Simply, discernment allows you to see what is there and what is not there without past the lens of your bias, past the lens of your ego. Okay. A lot of times judgment comes from ego. We're judging something as right or wrong or in or out because of ego. Discernment understands the shadings and the nuances that come with humanity and makes space for that, but also holds a standard to say, this isn't quite what I need it to be in order to achieve what I am trying to achieve. All right. So, which leads me to the second reason that visionaries need to work to bring in the skill of discernment. Okay, so the second reason is we always want to have good. We always want to have better over good. Okay, discernment allows you to have better or best versus just having good enough. All right, that's a better way to say it. Discernment will allow you to have what is best versus having just what's good enough. Okay, discernment is about the details and not just the outward assessment, but having a keen attention to those details and not settling for what is good, right? So there are many times in this journey when you're trying to manifest something or bring something, into your life, when you're building a dream, where there'll be a pathway that'll be set before you. And either you can go this way, which is good. That looks good. Yes, 5 years ago, I would have said, yes, absolutely. Give me that. Or you can have the best. In order to achieve the best, you have to have discernment. Because again, discernment will allow you to look at these things, not at face value, but to really do a deeper assessment, to pay attention to what is said and what is not said, to what is printed and what is not printed, in order to say, this is good, but that would be better. Okay? If I go this way, if I end up, partnering with this person and starting a business with them, we will have a good business. Or I can look at doing it on my own or doing it with another partner and we can have a great business. Discernment allows you to make that decision. Whereas judgment, when you come in judging something with your ego and with your preconceived ideas, you are blind. You're not able to, you have so many blind spots because ego is involved. And anytime ego gets involved, blind spots will manifest. Okay? And so discernment is about clearing away all of the blind spots. It's about clearing away all of the bias and only focusing on the details that are presented before you. Okay? I can only tell you based on the patterns that you've shown me. I can only tell you based on the product that you produce. I can only tell you based on the words that you speak. Nothing more. And my assessment about that does not mean that I am judging who you are, your worth, or your value. I am judging that thing and whether or not it fits into the picture of me achieving the vision that I have in my mind and my heart for myself. Okay? And so in that way, you can not worry when people take offense when you say, no, this isn't quite what I need. Or you give feedback and the feedback is not accepted because they think that you're being judgmental. Again, judgment is about attaching power to something. I have the power over you to say that this is good or bad or right or wrong. I have the power to condemn you or put you somewhere or do whatever. There is, again, a difference between judgment and discernment. You need discernment. You have to judge things back and forth to distinguish what is best. You need that. All right. Let's see, the third thing. The third reason why visionaries need to practice discernment in the journey to making their wildest dreams come true is confidence. Discernment gives you confidence. If Red Bull gives you wings, discernment gives you confidence. Why? Because discernment allows you to hold space for understanding. Discernment allows you to hold space for understanding. So that when I do make my decision to go for better or best, even when it looks like on the outside that good is the way that I should go, all right, as a visionary, it's important that you understand all of the nuance. That again, just like my baby does when she holds up those Gucci bags, when she sees one, she's looking at the details. She's looking deeper because she's studied and she understands the way these things work. And so, as a visionary who has understanding, when you make a decision, you can stand confident in that decision because you've gotten understanding. Because remember, the definition of discernment is the quality of being able to grasp and comprehend what is obscure. So the only point that a visionary makes a decision is when they have understanding. And when you have understanding, you can make decisions with confidence. And when you act with confidence, you will draw other people to you who will help you make that vision happen. Okay? So it's really, really important that you have discernment in your life because that discernment is going to open up understanding for you. And when you have understanding, you understand your needs and you also value the needs of other people. Okay, so let me make this clear again. Having discernment doesn't mean that you are no longer valuing or understanding what you need. As a matter of fact, what you need is primary when you're using discernment. What you need is primary when you need discernment or when you're using discernment. Okay, and so you have to be willing to understand your needs first. And to also understand and respect the needs of others. So much so that if there's not alignment, you say we cannot work together. That's what our role is as visionaries. That even when other people don't see it and everybody's coming out of the woodwork, yeah, I want to do something with you. I want to do a project with you. Let's get to people will wear you out with a whole bunch of let's get together and do something. Anybody can relate to that? Is there anybody that can relate? People want to meet with you and set this up and link and do all of the things. They will wear you out talking about doing something in the future. But discernment, someone who has practiced discernment, someone who has the skill of discernment is able to judge the difference between real and unreal. They're able to understand the difference between good and best. And they also move with confidence because they have understanding, because they're not quickly moving to judge something. Instead, they want to understand. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible says, in all thy getting, get understanding. Okay? You have to understand so that you can move forward. But once I understand, I'm confident because I know I've done the work. Okay, I know I've done the work. All right, so let me give you a couple things that you can do to increase the power of your discernment. All right, so the first thing you can do to increase the power of your discernment is to practice stillness, to practice silence. Okay, oftentimes I make the decision to not listen to anything. Okay, because I love stimuli. I love a podcast or a show on Netflix that I'm not really paying attention to, or some music playing or whatever. And there are just times when you're trying to develop the skill of stillness that you need to turn everything off. The skill of discernment. You need to turn everything off. Okay? You need to practice stillness so that you understand what true equilibrium is. Okay? Discernment comes when you understand what equilibrium is. Because again, you want to judge between the real and the fake. And I can't do that if my life is constantly flooded with me having to make decisions about what is real or what is happening and what is fake. All right? And not happening. All right? And so the best way to get back to start is to turn everything off and have some stillness. All right? The second thing you can do is practice listening to that inner voice. You know, everybody has that tuition. Everybody has that something told me. Have you ever had that happen to you? Where you go and you do something and then it turns out bad. You're like, if I only would have listened, something told me not to go to that store. Something told me not to do such and such. Something told me not to work with that person. That's that inner voice. That's that intuition. I would say start to practice listening to that and go in the direction of that thing that is leading you. That's a part of the discernment. There's something that your conscious mind and your unconscious mind saw, and it's trying to relate to you. Hey, there's some information that you're missing, but because you have not practiced stillness, you have no way of knowing the difference between what is real and what is fake, or what is real and what is unreal, because of so much outside noise. All right. And then the third thing, you have to slow down. Discernment is a skill that is built, but you have to slow down and be willing to pay close attention to the details. Okay? You have to be willing to slow down. Take it all in. Be present. If we're looking at art, you're looking at what makes this piece of art more beautiful than that piece of art. How did the artist draw the line? What kind of paint did... Get involved with things and be present. But in order to do that, you have to slow down. You have to slow down, okay? This is not about speed reading through a book. This is about reading and understanding the choice of words and the syntax, okay? The way that they painted the picture, being present enough to really take it in. And so if you want to increase the power of discernment in your life, practice some stillness and silence. Okay, if you're someone like me that enjoys a lot of stimulus, a lot of stimuli, you might want to start by practicing what I've been doing as of late, about an hour of silence a day. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to hear anybody talking. I don't want to listen to any music. I don't want the TV on. I don't want a podcast on. If I drive around the corner, more than likely I'm not listening to music. Why? Because it's important that you establish equilibrium in order to be able to distinguish what is real from what is unreal. All right, so let me do a quick recap. 3 reasons why discernment is necessary to protect your vision. First of all, discernment is the ability to notice objective differences among activities, people, objects, experiences, etc., along relevant dimensions. It is also the quality of being able to grasp and comprehend what is obscure. Okay, so this is not easy learning. All right, this is not having discernment is not necessarily easy learning. All right, okay. So the first thing discernment allows you to see the difference between what is real and what is unreal. All right. The second thing that discernment does is discernment helps you know the difference between good and best. Because on your journey to making your wildest dreams come true, a lot of people are gonna come up to you with a lot of good offers. But when you have discernment, you'll be able to tell the difference between what is good and what is best. All right? The third thing, when you practice having discernment allows you to walk in confidence. Because at the core of having the skill of discernment is understanding. Okay? Because again, the definition is the quality of being able to grasp, comprehend, understand, all right, what is obscure. And so when you have understanding and you make this decision, you can move with confidence, okay, because you know that it is based off of fact. You know that it is based off of acumen, okay? So here are three things you can do. Three things you can do to increase your discernment is practice stillness and silence. Create an equilibrium. The second thing is begin to practice listening to that inner voice, that something told me that pops up for you. And then third, slow down. Take it all in. Be present. It all starts with stillness, okay? It just loops right back around to stillness, all right? You can pray. You can meditate. You can do a lot. You can just turn stuff off a lot of times. You can just turn this shit off, all right? And allow there to be some quiet in your life so that when things speak or when things don't add up or make sense, you don't have so much cloud in your brain that you can't have understanding. All right. So that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me for Fill Up with Fran. Like I said, I'll be here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, giving you just one tip, one thing you can focus on for the week that can help take you from idea to launch. Before we get out of here, I got a few announcements for you. If you are interested in listening to this outside of our Wednesday lives on Facebook and Instagram, have no worries. We are making this available for you to go back and listen to and even share with your friends by going to your favorite podcast DSP and subscribing to the Fill Up with Fran podcast. It is now available on Apple. I believe it's also on Spotify. I'm not really sure. Don't get me too lying, but it's somewhere out there. Go check it out on the podcast app on Apple, and you can also check it out on Podbeam. It's also on Podbeam, the Fill Up with Fran podcast. So if you're interested in listening to all of the past episodes, maybe even sharing it with a friend, feel free to go check out the Fill Up with Fran podcast on whatever streaming app that you use. Next, we are going to be soon launching the Fill Up with Fran lunch competition. We'll be posting details about that. But basically, if you bring a friend to Fill Up with Fran, you have the opportunity to win a lunch on me, to literally fill up on me, fill up on Fran. I will pay for your lunch, and we'll be posting details about that as we try to grow this community bigger and bigger. Thank you so much for everyone who's invited someone with you to Fill Up with Fran. And then also don't forget that you can go to my Instagram page, click the link in the bio, click the link that says 12-minute leap, and sign up for your 12-minute leap consultation where we can talk through all of the things that you have going on, figure out how we can get you unstuck and move to the next level of your dream and your journey to making your wildest dreams come true. And then last, but certainly not least, because Lord God is hot in this garage. All right, last but certainly not least, we have a new episode of On Some Gay Shit on our YouTube page. If you go over to YouTube at On Some Gay Shit with Kelly and Fran, that is the vlog that my fiance and I have started. So please make sure that you go over to YouTube and you check out On Some Gay Shit. We have a new episode. You can also follow us at @onsome_gay shit on Instagram. That's all I have. Thanks everyone for joining. I got 2 minutes before we get out of here. I love y'all. I'll be hanging out for another 2 minutes. I like to stay on until 7:30 just in case y'all have something to say or a comment to add. Until the next time, if no one has told you before this week, this month, or this lifetime, allow me to be the first to let you know that you are whole, that you are perfect, and that you are complete. And everything you need to make your wildest dreams come true is already on the inside of you, and I cannot wait to see you manifest it, to see you make it happen. Y'all stay good. Y'all stay great. Y'all stay lovely, stay safe, and stay healthy. I love y'all. Until next time. Peace.